excited because this meant no one would escape no matter where they went. However, the moment he accepted the mission, multiple kills started appearing on his screen. He needed to hurry and figure out what was happening inside the mansion. These guys seemed to forget that there was no one else around because they had killed all the women there for God's sake. That's when a voice echoed, asking why they weren't playing with him instead. The voice continued, leaving everyone standing up confused. The guy with red hair already knew that whoever was speaking had a much stronger aura than his own. Lai Hao immediately panicked, realizing that whoever this was had come to kill him. Oh boy, now Lai Hao's hair had turned back to blue and Rong's had suddenly turned red. Looks like we'll leave a start of fundraiser to get the poor artists some Alzheimer's medication. Rent-haired Rong stood in the middle of the room with his friends and called for the person to show themselves. He was confused, wanting to know who this person was that had been killing everyone so easily. The voice said that he was going to become the reaper of all the souls in that room. The men were terrified, but Rong told them to calm down. They split up, each watching a different position. That's when the legendary flashbang dropped in the middle of the room. They exploded and no one could see anything. Meanwhile, our boy calmly walked in, hands in his pockets like it was a runway. As soon as he entered, he activated his spike attack. Half the army started getting impaled. The boomerang slash took out 2 more. Rong had no idea who was standing in front of them. When you looked to the side, there was another grenade. An explosion followed and our boy walked on unfazed. With the smoke cleared, Rong still hadn't figured out what was happening. But all his allies were already gone. One of the men said it must be some kind of witch because he saw a spinning sword killing everyone. Rong asked how many people were still in the area and the man said at least 66 brothers with a few others injured. Meanwhile, Leha was furious, telling Rong to hurry up and get revenge by killing the person who ruined his plans. Rong ordered them to start hunting this guy because he was sure there was no way he could kill nearly 100 people on his own. He then turned to the servant and told him to take the master to the hideout. The servant knew, however, that this person was probably watching everything. Our boy was slowly killing everyone and enjoying watching their despair. As he expected, the men were trying to form a group to escape. He'd opened the system and checked, discovering that Rong was already level 5. He heard a bunch of people shouting for the coward to show himself and thought it was stupid for them to keep repeating that. He decided to summon the kitty to give them a little more entertainment. At that moment, the cat appeared beside him. He pulled out a knife and threw it toward the room, cutting a candle holder, which crashed the floor and scattered glass everywhere. But before the men could understand what was happening, the cat was already on the first one's neck. Our boy used the distraction to enter the room and start eliminating more of them. Another area was clear and he withdrew once again. Rong spotted him, but quickly realized he couldn't see his name or level. He shouted at asking who he was and what he wanted to do. Our boy observed Rong, feeling disappointed. This guy didn't even resemble the war god he once was. He then told them he was there to teach them the meaning of despair. In a second, he passed through 3 men and was face to face with Rong. The poor guy couldn't react and trembled all over. He dropped to his knees, realizing he didn't stand a chance. The kitty went after him and our boy said he was going after Lai Hao. Because with the revenge barrier, there was no way that guy could hide. He kicked Rong, asking how he expected to be called the leader of the mercenaries while acting like this. But Rong replied that the whole organization had been wiped out, so it wasn't like he was the leader of anything anymore. Lindsay smiled, seeing that Rong had realized he had lost everything he had worked so hard for over the past years. Rong then asked him to at least tell him who he was so he wouldn't die with that regret. Our boy said he didn't expect something so good to happen and slowly approached him that he went to his neck, taking him down. Rong hit the floor and our boy stepped on his head, saying he remembered the day Rong did the same to him and called him an aunt. He stomped on him several times, saying that Rong had taught him never to talk too much in front of an enemy and to always finish them off. It was much better watching him die full of regrets. Now that Rong was dead, the Li family had been drastically weakened. But it seemed my boy had gotten drunk on revenge, dumbling into things left and right. With that, he left the mansion, leading a pile of people ready for the next life. Elsewhere, a desperate Lihao said it was impossible that this guy would follow him there. The butler told him not to worry, assuring him that Rong would handle the situation. But then suddenly, the door dented in the shape of a body. At that moment, Lihao knows that the person he suspects our protagonist sent to kill him has arrived. The butler tells him to calm down, that he sent the rest of the people to the secret base, so no one will imagine they are there. Lihao is furious, considering how that Dan orphan found such a strong assassin. The butler asks if it could be a secret card that his father, Lin Jian, had left behind. However, Lihao insists that it's impossible. After they killed his father, they left nothing for that boy. If it weren't for the boss's insistence, they wouldn't even have left the descendant. Our boy drives the man away from the metal door and announces for everyone to hear that he now understands everything. Inside, Lihao asks why he's hearing Lin's voice, and our boy says that apparently he's been a target since birth. There were still many things he didn't know. From inside, Lihao yells that he should have killed that brat when he had the chance. However, our boy wants to know who Lin Jian was and why they wanted to wipe out the entire Lin family. Lihao laughs, saying it seems that the orphan really knows nothing about his father. That Lihao confesses that his father was about to get promoted when Lin Jian, our boy's father, reported him. This ruined all the Li family's plans and business, which is why they made sure the entire Lin family was killed. At that point, Lihao says it's time for our boy to answer and ask where he found this professional assassin. But our boy replies that it's useless for him to know, as the entire Li family will disappear. Lihao laughs, telling him to keep dreaming. Until our boy kicks the doorknob. With that, the door opens, revealing the little kitten next to him. Man, the poor butler comes rushing to punch him. Even lazily, our boy dodges. The kitten leaps in his direction, and what do you know, bam? The butler punches the little guy. The 30 minutes of the kitten were up, and he begins to disintegrate. At that moment, our boy moves to his face, removes his mask, and says Lindsay has arrived. The old man is startled, asking if he was the assassin behind all of this. And at that moment, Lihao realizes he messed up. The butler says it's impossible that a kid like him could have killed someone who's trained as Rong. Our boy warns the butler to the Li family's martial arts have become irrelevant in the apocalypse. Lihao keeps protesting, saying it's impossible for him to have gotten this strong alone. Our boy tells him that now he's going to find out that he's strong enough to take them both down. Then he lunges at the butler. He brings both arms together and blocks the punch. Man, he's still holding up with a guy. Our boy is impressed, saying that not even Rong could have withstood a punch like that. That's when the old man decides to show his true form. He destroys all his clothes, becoming ridiculously muscular. Our boy draws his sword and slashes at him. The butler calls him despicable for fighting dirty, but he simply responds that in an apocalypse, anything goes. In that moment, he spins the sword and activates a double slash. The butler dodges it, but it's a boomerang, and it's coming back from behind. With that, the butler takes the first hit on his arm. The old man says he can't believe that after 50 years of training, he's going to lose this easily. That's when our boy's explosive combo activates on the butler's arm. At the same time, Lindsay moves, and closer. And then bam, he stamps the butler's chin, saying he needs to make sure he's dead. It's a shame that he was so strong that he couldn't adapt to the apocalypse. This shows that it's necessary to be smart and always stay alert to the situation and its changes. That's when he sees that Lihao is fainted on the floor. He thinks Lihao is useless and approaches him with the sword. He uses him a little poke to see if the boy wakes up. Of course, in an instant, he jumps up screaming. Our boy asks if he's going to stop pretending to be dead. Man, he gives him a sequence. That's not exactly kind. Lihao starts screaming for help, saying his father won't let this slide. But our boy just keeps spinning the sword. Lihao begins to bake him to finish him off quickly. Lindsay tells him not to worry you more for it to do that. It then pulls out a blunt knife that can't cut properly and gives the first strike to Lihao's thighs. Our boy apologizes, saying that unfortunately this apocalypse is full of bad weapons. But sooner or later he would get it right, he promised. And then he strikes again. Our boy says that the shame Lihao will never feel even 1% of what he suffered for 10 years. Confused Lihao asks what he means by 10 years, considering he only started messing with our boy 3 years ago and thinking about ending him. Our boy tells him to stop with the stories, because it's time for some fun. He gives him a last year, then another one there. For each strike, he gives a reason or feeling he had experienced over the past 10 years. One on the chest for killing the family he never even got to know. Then he says he's tired of giving reasons, and from now on it's just because it makes him happy. He goes into his inventory and pulls out a very peculiar item, and it's unclear what he plans to do with it. Lihao asks what he's planning. Our boy says that it was Lihao